Thanks, T. Hey, Mason, welcome to Seattle, and thank you very much here for doing this. I'll just start with this right here. Coming from a different part of the conference, what's the perception that you've gained about Seattle in the recent part of your career, and maybe how has that picture cleared up to you when the trade went down, when talking to people about this kind of a chance that you're going to be getting here?
Yeah, it's an exciting place to play. I think, it's a brand new organization. They have a great rink, and from what I've heard, they have great staff and good people in the room. So I'm definitely excited to get down there and meet everyone. But for me, I think it's going to be a good opportunity and a fresh start, and that's always exciting. And I'm looking forward to that, and hopefully we can get better as a team and make the playoffs.
And I know that you come from a room previously with Brandon Montour in Florida. You get him back here once again. Have you had a chance to talk with him about the situation here, or anybody else that you may know around the team?
Yeah, no, I talked to Monty quite a bit, here and there throughout the season anyway. So, even when we weren't on the same team, so it's nice to, have a familiar face to, come into the dressing room with, and our wives are really close, so that makes the transition pretty easy for us.
Thank you.
Let us go with Curtis here.
Hey Mason, what was it like finding out about the trade first and foremost? And I imagine you kind of saw the landscape after the Miko deal that maybe not everybody was going to be able to be back there. Were you kind of thinking that something might be coming down the line for at least somebody in the room, that things were going to be changing down there?
Yeah, yeah, it's a business, and I get that. I've been in it my whole life, so there had to be some changes, and it just so happened to be me. And I don't take it as a knock at all. I think there's teams out there that want you, so it's always a good thing. And it's just part of the business, so it's you just kind of go with it as it goes. And but no, I'm excited to start in Seattle, and get playing and meet the boys and get down there and get settled.
And during the season there, it seemed like you were on a pretty good run points wise, with the injuries and everything that kind of set you back a little bit, matching the goal number from the year before and everything. How do you feel like your game is at this point with the progression for your career and kind of where you are being a top six guy, being able to factor in high up the lineup here in Seattle?
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know, but I was a late bloomer and a long journey to get to the NHL. And just for myself now, I think I'm here, and I believe in myself, and I got to put the work in to be ready to go for the start of the season. But just try to go in and be a good person and a good teammate, and try to help win as much as I can. That's all it really is.
All right, Darren.
Hey Mason, welcome to Seattle. One thing that Jason Botterill has talked about this summer is being able to kind of get to the inside, both at the offensive end of the ice and the defensive end of the ice, which is something that they have kind of indicated they could have done better last season. Can you just talk a little bit about your game as it pertains to that kind of mindset? And do you think that that kind of fits your style of play?
Yeah, I mean that is my game. I like to get on the forecheck and get inside, get pucks back, and strip guys on the back check, and that's stuff I take pride in, and like to do well. So if I can help out that way, it's going to be great. But get to the net front, and get in the goalie's eyes. That's huge. So stuff like that, small things like that, are things that help win games, and help you get playoffs. And so hopefully I can just come in and do the best I can, and get to the net.
And there's been sustained success, obviously, in Dallas the last few seasons. What can you take away from that experience to help build the Kraken towards more of a perennial contender?
Yeah, for sure. I think Seattle is a contender. We have a lot of good pieces. There's a lot of good players. I talked to Monty, and he's filled me in on a lot of the guys, and a lot seems like there's a lot of good guys in that room. So, um, I don't think that we're far off at all from the outside looking in right now. But it's all about buying into the system, and everyone being on the same page, and everyone doing their part, playing their role. And hopefully, I can come in and help be a piece of that.
Thank you.
Mr. Condor.
Hey, Mason, Bob Condor from the Kraken. How are you? Welcome to Seattle, at least when you get here.
Thank you.
Couple things about early on. You mentioned the late bloomer part, and you mentioned Barb Underhill before about helping you with skating. So that's question one. And then where do you feel your break came in terms of just getting a chance to play in Toronto and Florida and beyond?
Yeah. So first, Barb, I honestly don't think I would be here without her. I did one-on-one sessions with her for, probably 50 to 60 of them for 3 years straight. So just a lot of time and, a lot of effort from her to help me get here. And, I still skate with her every now and then in the summers and, keep in touch. So that's awesome. And then, what was the second question? Sorry.
Where you felt your break was, because obviously you're a guy who came in late, undrafted, but Toronto signed you. What sort of got you up to
Yeah.
a little faster than even some guys who were way ahead of you in draft and so on?
Yeah, for sure. I think, I have a high compete level. I'm a really competitive person. I like to win and compete and play any kind of game. So, I think that aspect helps. But my break probably started in Florida. Coach Q gave me a really good opportunity there, and kind of just blossomed from there. So, thankful for that.
Thanks.
Let's go to Ryan, and then I'll go back to you, Mike.
You do you think it's an advantage for being traded to a team with a new coaching staff? Kind of a refresh all the way around.
Could you just repeat that? Sorry, I
Uh,
cut out a little.
do you think it's an advantage of being traded to like a team with a fresh coaching staff? So you're starting over, and then the team's kind of starting over as well.
Yeah, I wish I could tell you the answer. I don't even know. I've never had that before. So, that's gonna be a first for me too. So, I'll let you know.
Sounds good.
Go ahead, Mike.
Hey, Mason, the team is pretty set down the middle with returning guys. So, depending upon where the fit is and depending upon what you know already about them, what kind of an impact do you think is there? And you see maybe playing with, say, either Matty Beniers or Shane Wright or Chandler Stevenson?
Yeah, I mean either of them would be great. I think that's going to be something that kind of we find out as we go. I don't know what they're thinking or anything like that. So, we'll find that out when I get down there. I don't really. I would be excited to play with any three of them. So, they're all really good players and smart and all can skate. So, it'd be great to play with either of them.
Bob, did you have another question?
Oh no, no, I'm good. Sorry.
It's okay. Curtis, go ahead.
Mason, you got to be a part of a playoff series with Seattle a couple years ago. What was your experience like playing against them, seeing playoff hockey up here in Seattle for the first time?
Yeah, it was awesome. For sure the fan base sticks out instantly. It was rocking in there for 3 games, and it was a hard building to play in too. So it's going to be fun to be on the other side of it, and as the team aspects, they I think there's quite a bit of turnover now, but still a lot of guys are still there and competitive guys, and I'm excited to get started.
And what's your experience been like with Seattle, the city itself, coming to town for a few years and gotten out to do anything, see anything when you've been up here?
Yeah, we go for a couple walks downtown, and it's got beautiful landscape, beautiful area, some good restaurants we've had down there on the road. Got out golfing once a couple years ago. A couple of beautiful courses out there too. So that's all exciting and appealing, and it's just gonna have to wait and see. We'll get down there and see how it is for the full year. It'll be fun.